It's like, this is when you become unstoppable. This is when you are no longer a slave. This is when people cannot control you. And this is the most powerful woman. In my last video, maybe 2 videos ago, I'll link it below, when I was editing it, I got angry in real time when I was speaking about some boundaries I was setting with people. And I said in the video while I was recording in real time, when genuine anger arose, that like, this was really healthy and I see this as something positive, that I am getting angry right now. And I thought, you know what, this could be an entire video. And so I just wanted to hop on here and talk a little bit about anger and the Lilith archetype, but not just that, but also the Mary Magdalene archetype, which sometimes is depicted like hand in hand with that Lilith. So that's what we're going to dive into today, some archetypes, finding balance of this split in women and how society, you know, might demonize us for being angry or wanting us to be, you know, the good girl. So let's just dive a little bit into that. So by no means am I an expert on any of this. There's a million YouTube videos where you can get like the full story of Lilith, the full story of Mary Magdalene, all of that stuff. So I am kind of speaking more of my own personal journey with this than I am trying to be like teaching the exact archetypes. So one lens of looking at our womanhood in society, this split, kind of like the good girl, the bad girl, and how we are often polarized and like pitted against each other to like pick one side. Like, you're either the good girl or you're the bad girl. Are you the Brittany? Are you the Christina? So it's really common in our society to want to be that good girl and to split these into 2 different things and have that encompass your whole identity. Like, are you, you know, the Britney Spears, or are you the Christina Aguilera? Are you the Mary Magdalene, or are you the Lilith? And the truth is that a healthy woman is both. She has both, and she can call upon both of those. So I'm going to talk a little bit about what I perceive these to be. I am by no means trying to give you like an accurate history lessons on where these archetypes come from. There's a million in-depth videos that do way better than that. But I'm just speaking of my own personal experience with these archetypes and with these polarizing societal pressures to kind of categorize yourself as one or the other. So the Lilith is like that, her origin story in the Bible. She was supposed to be for Adam, and she refused to, and like chose herself and her dignity and her truth over complying and being, you know, like good. And so she was really like demonized, and she's like often like the dark mother, the dark feminine. Now in modern times with like all the new age amazing spiritual stuff, you know, that's we've kind of rewritten who Lilith is. And it's like a different type of empowerment. I heard that like the women who run with the wolves, I've tried to read that twice. It just didn't do anything for me. But I heard like that really embodies like that raw, just like hear me roar, stand up for yourself, like that pure, like that fire of womanhood is like that Lilith. And then on the other end of the spectrum is like that good girl, the Mary Magdalene, the one who, and I'm not talking about the patriarchal religious BS of Mary Magdalene, like this prostitute or whatever. I'm talking about the true Mary Magdalene, like walking, you know, side by side, equals with Jesus. She has the open upper chakras. She's like a teacher. She's all about love, unity, the white light, the rose codes, all of that. Beautiful thing. So we have these 2 kind of like, I see it as like this raw, embodied, like animalistic, sensual part of our womanhood. And we have our, you know, divine light of our womanhood, this unconditional love. And we're often kind of, I don't know, society pits a lot of women against each other, like, and she kind of fits, I guess, like, are you the bad girl, like skanky? Are you the good girl, like you're the virgin, you know, that type of thing. And it's like you can only be one or the other. But the truth is, to be fully embodied and empowered and on your path and in complete alignment, you actually need to be able to be and use both of these type of archetypes in your day-to-day life, and to come into union with that, where you can be your Lilith and you can have boundaries, and you can be your Mary Magdalene, and you can channel divine light and love and that type of unity presence with people. But you don't want to, like anything, go too far one way or the other. I would say I've gone the Lilith route, where I fully identified as like worldly power, like being like, whether it were like my sexuality, my earning potential, I don't know, like more like lower chakra, like worldly things, like I don't need anyone, I don't need a man, that whole like boss babe era of like, you know, what do we need men for? Like when I was in my early 20s, I definitely felt an over identification with like that Lilith, and just kind of like closed off, like I can do everything on my own. And then as I walked further and further into my spiritual path, I really more recently, like probably the past 6+ years, like over identified with that Mary Magdalene, that like, oh, you know, I'm on this spiritual path. I was super overgiving, super self-sacrificing, codependent, if you will. I didn't wear makeup for over 5 years. I wanted nothing to do like with sexuality. I didn't want to be perceived as someone beautiful or pretty in any way. I kind of like, not demonized the Lilith, but like thought that, oh, well, walking like the Mary Magdalene path, like this is not superior, but just what I was choosing to do. And I think I just kind of swung the pendulum from being kind of too far in my Lilith to then being like too far in my Mary Magdalene era of just like, no, like I don't care about this body, I don't care about earthly things, I don't want to be sexualized, like I just, you know, want to be, I'm just here for everyone else. I just self-sacrifice, like forget about me, forget about my needs. Like I can connect with the divine, and I can channel it, and I know God, and I'm here to just spread that to other people, and like forget about my one unique little incarnated life. Like that's irrelevant. Like I don't need to care about her. I'm all about, you know, the upper chakras, and I'm all about like this unity. But the truth is, like that path left me so depleted and exhausted because I was over giving. And also, I don't think, not that you, by any means, I'm not trying to connect this with like societal measures of beauty, but I do think now it is healthy to want to like embody and enjoy your body, whatever that might mean to you. Like I'm not trying to put any external labels on what that would look like, but just that it's okay to be embodied, to enjoy your body, to enjoy foods, to enjoy beauty of all sorts, whether that's looking in the mirror. I definitely needed to reclaim parts of my Lilith and reintegrate that and know that like that was okay, and I didn't need to ostracize her. And then also what I needed at that time in my early 20s was like to soften into my Mary Magdalene, to like be okay with God and okay with receiving and not needing to put up such this strong, basically it was like this really strong masculine energy, this really strong barrier of like, I don't trust anybody, I can do anything on my own, I'm this bad bitch, like, oh, look at me, look at all these worldly ways that I can prove that I'm powerful, but in a worldly sense. And then it went so far of like, let me show you how I'm so spiritually empowered that like I'm so spiritually empowered that like I don't need any of these worldly things. And it's you know, they're two extremes, and I feel like I've walked in both of those energies, and I'm just now, like I've said, just learning how to integrate and come into alignment with both of them, where I can be soft and I can be channeling source and I can be on my spiritual path, but I can also fully get angry and set boundaries and not overgive and not self-sacrifice. And that's like where my Lilith comes in, to be embodied and enjoy my body and to have that separation. Because when you're like so far in your upper chakras and the Mary Magdalene in that unity consciousness, but we also still need those moments of separation into our individual selves, where it's like protect your energy, protect your peace. And Lilith will get angry, and you'll feel that in your lower chakras, and you'll feel an anger, which is what I was originating this whole video on. Like I said at the beginning, when I was talking about the boundaries I've learned to have, and I felt angry at the time. I felt angry while I was recording that video of just like the violation, and that wild woman Lilith, amazing energy, she was standing up for me. And anger is so beautiful. It's a signal to yourself that you are being violated, that trespassers are coming onto your turf, and to do something about it. And there's nothing wrong with that. But in society, it's like, oh, don't get mad, don't have any negative emotions. Oh, no, like you better stay this perfect Mary Magdalene, whether you're being violated, whether you are being drained, whether this like goes against your beliefs, or your body screaming no, your soul is screaming no, whatever it is. And it's just like, yep, like that documentary, what was it called? Keep Sweet, Pray and Obey. They said like they couldn't have bad emotions and like stuff like that. Like, anyway, I don't know if I'm losing people with that documentary. I don't know who has seen it. I'm not trying to offend anybody. But it's just kind of like, you are supposed to submit and be a woman who can be violated on any type of level, and just be okay with that, and not show any anger, not show any backlash, and not protect yourself. But now my Lilith is like reawakened in me, and I'm having these epiphanies where it's like, no, like I'm done with having these like fully open borders of my energy. Like people can't just take and drain from me. And it's not them doing it, it's me not protecting myself. And so my Lilith, it gets angry, and she wants to set boundaries, and she wants to say like, that like not right now, or not ever, or like, Sarah, you need to give to yourself, or like you need to fill your own cup first. And I'm super grateful that, hey buddy, and I'm super grateful to have that like reawakened, and realize like I do not need to shun that part of me, and that having my Lilith awakened and using that energy does not take away at all any of my Sophia codes, and I'm sorry, Sophia would be like the integration, but I'm not trying to go there. Which, by the way, I want to name my daughter Sophia. I had that download like years ago. It just like came to me that I was going to name my daughter Sophia. I had no idea why. I had never heard of the Sophia codes. I've never heard of any of these archetypes at the time. The name meant nothing to me. And now it's just so meaningful. So yay, hopefully in X amount of time, I will be revealing my beautiful little sweet girl Sophia. But anyway, just like being in my Mary Magdalene energy doesn't take away that I can be in my Lilith. So it's like you can, go back and forth and have both of these energies available to you, and you use them when you need, when it's benefiting you. So there are times I want to be in my Mary Magdalene. I want to be soft. I want to have an open heart. I want to understand my partner in a time of conflict. I want, you know what I'm saying? I mean, it's obvious. Like, come on, there's going to be times you need your Mary Magdalene. There's going to be times you need your Lilith, and you can go back and forth. So to have these energies and these frequencies like completely aligned and embodied, and hi buddy, yes, and capable of using them, it's like, this is when you become unstoppable. This is when you are no longer a slave. This is when people cannot control you. And this is the most powerful woman. And that is why she is constantly feared. And that is why these archetypes are are, there's always, I don't know, hate put on their names, ways to scare and fear women and make us feel less than if we were to, you know, fully embody one of these archetypes. And of course, it would be beneficial and who of people who want to enslave us and use us to see us as like, oh, you know, be the good girl. Like it's so much better to be that. And then not to go societal, but then we see like this big uproar with like, I don't know, I don't label stuff, I don't know, with like the feminist type stuff where they're like, you don't need a man and like F men, and like, you know, you see this strong like Lilith energy go up, which was probably an overcorrection to like how we were told to just be like such these good girls and these quiet little housewives, and you know, be on this end of the spectrum where we can be violated, but like, oh, you know, we'll just stay peaceful and we won't ever have emotions, we'll never get angry, like, yes, sir. So I think we like largely overcorrected to like this, like, I don't need a man and I can make my own money and like, I'm so independent, and like hyper, like closed off our hearts. And I don't believe that is benefiting women either. So I think there's this sacred balance and this union and the capacity to move into either energy when appropriate and when is needed. So I am trying to reclaim certain aspects of that Lilith, of being embodied, of my sensuality, of my sexuality, and of my anger, protecting my boundaries. And of course, it's, you know, I have those other energies available when I want to be, you know, of the love and the unity and the higher frequencies, and when there's appropriate time, I will do that. When my cup is filled and it's coming from overflow and it's coming from gratitude, not out of obligation because, oh, I better be the good girl, you know, not an obligated energy. It's like an energy of overflow and gratitude. So I'm just curious, like right now in life or in your history in general, do you feel like you find yourself leaning towards like having to be that good girl, that Mary Magdalene who maybe gets her boundaries violated? Or do you feel like you've maybe gone the other way where you're so like hard and walls up and like closed off and like, I don't need anyone or anything, and you know, that type of energy? Or do you feel like you have a really great integration where you can kind of pull from either energy? I guess I just realized maybe I needed to like have those times earlier in my life where I was that Lilith, to really explore her, understand her, like be in that energy, and then those times where I was like fully in my Mary Magdalene, to like really understand what those frequencies were about and that type of path, so then I could, you know, be able to integrate and reawaken and like use the two without guilt. And I don't know, it just feels really good. So this is when a woman becomes unstoppable and uncontrollable, when you can have your softened heart with sacred boundaries, where your no is an act of self-love, your Lilith, and your open heart and your open channel is like your own divinity that you're capable of walking with. So you have both the white light, and you have both the sacred boundaries and the sacred no. So yeah, hope you found this video helpful at all. I would love to hear below what your thoughts are or what your experiences are with these energies and these archetypes. Love you.